Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It's the debate of all debates, and I've realised that since this issue blew up against the Liverpool game, after the Liverpool game, and Chelsea fans across social media making it clear how they feel about a certain Mason Mount, everyone decided to do a video, everyone decided to put up a tweet, and funnily enough, my good friend Miz, right, the other side of the coin, you can check out his channel, feel free, decided to put a tweet which is now on 1.3 million views in the space of 48 hours about the mistakes that Mason Mount made in that game against Liverpool. And there's been all sorts of debate, right? It's all kicked off. It's gone absolutely mental. And I'm the last one to give an opinion. And I've done that intentionally because I wanted to see what everybody had to say. So we're going to get into it very, very shortly. But before I do, I want to let you know, don't forget, hit me up on the socials. I just mentioned Twitter. Link is in the description as well as my Instagram. Make sure you're following me on those for all of my antics away from YouTube. Feel free. Thank you very much. Let's get cracking. This whole Mason Mount issue is going to be the first thing I talk about. We've got some transfer news straight after. We've got some UEFA news. And we also have some Frank Lampard news that I'm going to give you my thoughts on because the inevitable has happened. We'll get to that later. Let's start off with Mason Mount. Now, I'm going to be, just off the record, I'm going to be completely honest, straight, unbiased, just direct with you guys. Yeah, no corners cut, no antics, no agenda, no crap. Right, I'll be straight from the heart with all of you with my genuine, honest opinion of Mason Mount and his role at Chelsea. Right, I truly believe that there are things that can coexist, which large portions of the fan base on social media are not allowing to coexist, right? Let's try and get this organized for all of you because it's a mess, right? It's a mess. When it comes to Mason Mount, it's a flipping mess. It's like nukes start dropping. You know, you have a certain amount of the fan base that are Mason through and through. Like through and through. He could probably go out onto the road and punch somebody and everyone... Mace, right? There's them lot. There's another group that see him as a really good player, right? Don't get carried away, but nah, he's good. He's really good, right? Cool. You have another that are a bit 50-50. You have them lot that are, Mason's good, but he's not been playing well at all. I'm going to be real, nothing. So he probably should be dropped for the next few games. You have another bunch that are, I'm not so sure about Mason. Nah, you know what? And I wouldn't really want him in my lineup anyway. If he's still around, yeah, cool, squad player and that, not a problem, but nothing more than that. And then you have another group that are, oh my God, Mason should not be anywhere this football club. We need to sell him immediately. Get rid of this guy now. There's that many categories, right? It's pretty insane because when you look at other players, it's always probably 2 or 3 categories max. Jorginho, for example, very hot and cold, right? Very hot and cold. You get people that like Jorginho and people that don't, and that's it. There's some people that are like, nah, Jorginho, look, he's good enough, right? He's good enough. And then there's some people that are like, no, he's not. Get rid now. That's basically it. Ziyech, Pulisic, same goes for them. But Mason Mount, you get so many different variations. You should put him on a Michelin star menu. You really should. Put Mason Mount on a restaurant menu, Michelin star restaurant menu, because there's so many different variations. He has more variations than meat, than steak. Forget well done, rare, medium done. But mate, there's more variations in Mason Mount than there is in a steak. So when it comes to this, I'm going to be completely honest, as I've said, right? Mason Mount, I'm going to split it into 2. Him as a person, his character, his mentality, right? That side. And the other side is his genuine footballing ability. On the pitch, on the ball, what is he doing? This side, because there's a lot of people that don't like how Mason plays and they genuinely have hate for Mason Mount. And for me, I don't hate the guy. In fact, the one time I actually met him, right? The one time I met the players, very briefly, but as I said, he trains really hard. He's a professional, and he's a nice guy. You can genuinely see he is a nice person. He's very bubbly, he's very enthusiastic, doesn't really let much get to him. He's the sort of guy you kind of want, right? Anywhere in your workplace, really, anywhere you are. Mason Mount is a very professional, sound guy, right? So in terms of his mentality and the way that he is as his character, I've got no doubts. I've got absolutely no doubts about Mason Mount whatsoever. Right, because there's some people that are like, oh no, mate, we just got to get rid of Mason. He doesn't play well at all, but he's not got anything here. Like, no, when you actually take the fundamentals, especially in this country, when you look at talent in this country, when there's scouting, trust me, in this country, maybe not others, but in England, the one thing that they look at first is your professionalism. How do you conduct yourself on and off the pitch? Even on the pitch. Lampard is a prime example of how professional you can look, right? That was pro. Mace is of the same mold when it comes to that. He works hard, he puts his head down, there's never a saga, there's never drama, it's always serious. He's a serious boy. So when it comes to that, no doubts. Does he care? Yes, I'm genuinely convinced that for Chelsea Football Club, he cares. He does, right? I genuinely think he does. Obviously, we have to be a bit real, right? It's getting hot in here, so I'm going to take this off. So maybe it's the Mason Mount debate kicking off and flames are starting to pile up somewhere around me. Maybe I'm feeling the heat. But when it comes to that side, the professionalism and really conducting yourself, right? People tend to forget that, as I've said, it's one of the first things that people spot in this country. How does that player conduct himself? What is he genuinely like? That is a fundamental, because people in this country would genuinely rather have someone of a good mentality like that, who is maybe lacking a little bit that can be taught in terms of ability, compared to someone who is an absolute baller but is a nuisance in the dressing room or nuisance at the training ground. Balotelli is a prime example. The man was a coconut. Absolute. I mean, he set off fireworks in the training ground. He done the same thing, I think, in a house. Like, the guy has lost his marbles, although off the pitch there is a story about him giving like £1,000 to someone in a petrol station or something. Very nice gesture. But there's some people that you look at, some players, and you just think, nah, mate, you got to screw loose. People in this country, when it comes to scouting, they would rather someone just serious who can be taught a thing or two when it comes to on the pitch, rather than someone who is an absolute baller but is a troublemaker. That's one. Mason Mount, brilliant character. As I've said, does he genuinely care about the badge? Absolutely. Absolutely. He came from the academy, a Cobham lad, has wanted to make it at Chelsea, has done. Now, as I was going to say, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's not be foolish here, because there are fans that think, oh yeah, no, he's through and through. He'd die on the pitch and he would give his life savings and he would do everything for this football club. No, let's be real. For a lot of these players, yes, you do have some players that genuinely care more than others. But at the end of the day, their own careers are their own careers, and they will always put that first, because the club will run on with or without them, and they know that. And that goes for any job, any organisation. You're a spoke on the wheel. The wheel will keep turning with or without you. That spoke will get replaced. Not a problem. So there is a genuine, yes, connection, but there's also I don't want to say selfish. It's not. It's realistic. There is a factor there that you got to consider, where players look at their own personal careers too. And if it came down to Mason Mount, for example, if it really came down to him, say these contract negotiations right now, if it came down to the fact that he's got to choose what Chelsea are saying, or there's nothing else, you got to leave. If he's not happy with what he sees on that contract, he's gone. He's not going to go, no, you know what, I'm going to stick because it's Chelsea and I love this club no matter what. I will die for this club. I'll do everything. I'm willing to just accept what they give me. He won't do that. And rightfully so. I'm with him on it. I'm with all the players on that. Those are footballers. They do a job. It's their careers. They got to look out for themselves too. So you got to balance the two. You got to be realistic and balance the two. Don't just go in with blind faith that, oh, mate, this guy, I'll be proper Chelsea, he'll do everything, he'll do anything. Like, no. When it comes to it, really, 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 would he play for free? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think any player would play for free. Not now. Maybe back in the day. Back in the day, you would definitely have footballers that would play for free. 100%. That mold is gone. That mold is gone. And if you don't know your history, go and find those players from the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, even especially from those days, the 80s, 70s and whatnot. Players were playing for free. Literally for free. They would have to go and buy their own boots. They would have to go and buy their own travel. So let's be real. But that's one side of the argument. The character. Who is Mason? Him as a person. Nothing against him. Top professional. Conducts himself really well. Now let's talk ability. On the pitch. My own opinion. Is he good? Yes. I say he is good. Is he as fantastic as portrayed, especially in this country, especially within the press here, and especially the media? I don't think so. Is he consistent? Some people are making the argument, and I've seen this, well, yeah, he's 2-time player of the year, so he is consistent. He's just going through a bad patch. You can make that case, but very loosely. Very loosely, because let's be real, the quality at Chelsea Football Club, and I have to be fair here. Fair play to him for getting that, because when you look at the circumstances, it's not easy in terms of just rocking up and winning Player of the Year. But he won it at a time where we did have a transfer ban, where we came in and had to go to the academy, where a lot of those lads made a good impression, him included. But when you look at the players around him, we didn't exactly have Lampard, Essien, Ballack competing with Mount, did we? Do you know what I mean? I genuinely believe that if we get ourselves back up to a standard where we've got proper, reliable, consistent ballers in this team again, Mason Mount becomes a bench player. That's my reality. That's what I genuinely think. So when I take that argument of he's won the Player of the Year twice, yes, fair play to him. He can only do what he can do with the circumstances that he's placed in. And that is exactly what happened when he won it twice in a row. And fair play to him. Congrats for that. Absolutely. You're not rubbish for winning that. And this is what I'm saying. Is he good? Yes. Is he good enough to be at the level that we want Chelsea Football Club to be at? I don't think so. I don't think so. Why? Now, people make the argument that he's not playing in his position. I mean, if we're still making that argument after how many seasons? then okay, we'll see him when he plays as an 8, right? Despite that, my problem isn't the position. Because he's in the midfield regardless. Sometimes you see him drop deep, sometimes you see him go forward, sometimes he shifts to a side, sometimes he comes central. Regardless whether you like it or not, at times during the game, he is in his position. Whether he's there 100% of the time or he's there 20% of the time, okay, but he's there sometimes. Even there, he's making some really, really crazy mistakes. Losing the ball very carelessly. And there's little fundamentals that I've noticed in Mason Mount that I'm thinking, nah, come on. And I'm going to be constructive here. I'm not going to go in and just put in pure hate. There's one thing about Mason that I've realised, especially this season, is I don't think... I saw a clip, a couple of days ago of Xavi. Xavi's on the ball. He gets the ball. Before he gets the ball, no word of a lie, he's about to receive the ball. He's already done this. He's already looked at what is around him. Gets the ball, looks again, turns, looking, moves with the ball, looks, moves with the ball, look. He's always looking. A midfielder needs to know exactly what's going on around him. Sometimes I see Mason with his head down. Just head down. Get the ball, head down, go. Then look up. Like, no. You already need to have made your decision before the ball has even got to you. Mason, I thought, would turn into a midfielder that would be able to adapt that. Lampard used to be an absolute machine when it came to that. He always knew what was around him, and that is what separates the great midfielders from the good midfielders. Awareness. Because once you have complete awareness, you know exactly where to go and what to do with instinct. Mason Mount, the amount of times that he loses the ball, carelessly passes the ball to an opposition player. Very, very basic stuff. A pass that's intercepted because he's not paying attention. There's someone right in front of him. Things like that. Or the vision. Let's be honest. We remembered when João Felix made his debut. We all saw what Mason decided to do. when he didn't make that flipping through ball, it was screaming. If he had awareness and vision, and if he was paying attention to the surroundings, he would have pinpointed it. Now, some people are saying, well, we did it to Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Well, there we go. That needs to be more consistent. This is the problem. He's not consistent. Some people will say, yeah, but the other players are even worse. Fair enough. Maybe they are. That doesn't mean we have to protect Mason Mount and say, oh, well, no, you're good because the rest are rubbish. It's not how it works. Put them all in the same tin. Put them all in the same basket. That's it. We've got to be real. The game against Crystal Palace. Was it Crystal Palace? Yeah, at the bridge. Ball comes into the box. It's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. He decides in the box by the penalty spot instead to shoot. This could be down to confidence. Maybe awareness again. He decides to go square. I think it was to Gallagher or someone. The goal's right there. What are you doing passing and making life hard for yourself? And then allowing Palace to even get more back into position. Those decisions, right, can be made when you're 19, 20, 21. If I'm not mistaken, how old is he now? 24, 23, 24, 24? I think he's 24. I need to go back. But 23, 24. Yes, there's time. But it's not looking great because people need to remember at Chelsea Football Club, we don't want just okay. And maybe right now we're in a situation where we have to just make do with okay. But if we start getting top midfielders in, then you're going to be able to see exactly who Mason Mount is. And not just him. We'll see who exactly Jorginho is. We'll see who exactly what Kovacic is about. Kovacic, to be fair, I think he's got a CV. At least he can say, look at what I did at Real Madrid. I mean, you can't argue with that. Kante is Kante. We can't even put him in this conversation. He's just Kante. His body's letting him down. That's it. His ability is absolutely there. It's world class. But if we start getting proper midfielders in and you start to see the difference, at that point, it's going to be a lot clearer. So my honest opinion is he good enough? I think he's good. But long term, if we're going long term, do I see him getting astronomically better like he has to if he wants to operate for Chelsea at the highest level? And by the highest level, I mean that we get back to a level where we're competing for the title, Champions League, FA Cup, where we're back at that mode. I don't think he will. That's my honest opinion. At best, he'll be a bench player. Someone that can come on and provide you with the one thing that everyone agrees with is that he's very good with energy and pressing. But this whole pressing thing is an absolute joke. I'm going to give you guys a footballing fact. Pressing was not invented yesterday. Pressing has existed for flipping decades. Why all of a sudden it's become an obsession? Why all of a sudden it's become, he can press? Whoop-de-doo. He's a Premier League footballer. He can press. Wow. Like, no. Come on, guys. Come on. I expect lower league players to press. It's a fundamental. It shouldn't be. Now, how a team presses is fully tactical. And it's fully down to the gaffer. And maybe there's ways of being more efficient and effective with your press. Absolutely. But to lay it down on the play and go, oh, bloody hell, we can press. Like, not everyone should be able to press at the highest level. That's a basic requirement. That's like saying, you can kick a ball. Therefore, you're a good footballer. Like, no, that's not how it works. You should know how to kick a ball. Like, anyway. When it comes to Mace, as I've said, there's that bit of advice that I would personally give him is to not get into your head as much. Look up and pay attention to your surroundings. Try and get your vision on point. Make sure you know who is coming next to you, who is not, who is around you, who's available, who is not. Make these decisions before you retrieve the ball. Put yourself into a position where you're not going to be in danger. And that's partly down to the manager as well. The manager needs to be able to control what spaces a player runs into. At times during a game, at times during training, that needs to be worked on. That way a midfielder knows exactly how to operate. That is the best advice that I can give. And that's my honest opinion on Mace. Now, let's move on. That's my opinion. When it comes to Miz and that tweet that went out, look, I know him personally. Let me tell you this. I know for a fact he didn't post that just out of pure hate for Mason Mount. The man doesn't hate Mason Mount. Let me tell you that. I know for a fact that he put that out because those were, I have to say, a lot of mistakes in that game against Liverpool. And yes, maybe it's not the best method. It's not the best way to get a point across. Absolutely. And for that, of course, he'd probably take responsibility. But the intention, I know, was to just highlight. This is how mad it's got with a Mason Mount, who is constantly protected as compared to other players where they're not protected as much. If Ziyech and Pulisic, for example, or whoever gets criticised, it's just standard criticism. Everyone will deal with it. If a compilation rocks up, a compilation rocks up. A compilation comes up for Mason Mount and the world's about to end. Like, no, we have to stop putting these players in cotton wool. Stop protecting these players and wrapping them up in cotton wool and just babying them. And don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Listen, you're at the highest level. You have to be able to take the hits. And if you do, you'll get through it. You'll become even stronger. We need to get this fundamental rule back into our lives, people. Stop thinking that, someone's always going to be there for you and pat you down. Like, no. People have to take the falls. You have to take the cuts. You have to fall down, take the bruises, take the hits. Feel the pain. You feel the pain, you get through it, you become stronger. You start believing in yourself more. You start having more confidence. You start understanding your ability. You start understanding how far you can push yourself. But if you don't take the hits and you don't take the pain, you don't take those scratches, you don't tumble and fall and break something once in a while. I'm not saying break a bone, but you know what I mean. How the hell are you going to learn about yourself? That's my honest. So let's stop. And that goes for all players, not just Mason, everyone. Stop wrapping them up in cotton wool. Yes, social media is not great, but that's down to them. They know what they've signed up for the moment they created an account. If you can't take it, don't join social media. Thomas Tuchel decided not to go on social media because he understands how flipping crazy it can get. If you can take it, you take it. If you can't, don't go on. Simple. That's your choice. Don't go on and then start. You can't control what 100% of the people are going to say. You just can't. This is why even in my domain, in all of us, you think we don't get messages of hate and all sorts of mad craziness and whatnot? You take them. You take them, you laugh, you move on. Tomorrow it's forgotten about. Done. Done. That's it. So that's my honest opinion. And I hope he makes it through. And I would love to see him get better, and I would love to see him grow into a top midfielder. But it's down to him and his ability and how much he's willing to push himself and show exactly what he's truly about. Or is this it? We'll wait and see. But there we are. Let's get cracking into the rest of the topics of the video very quickly. We won't spend too long because that was a bit of a madness about Mason Mount. That's all done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Here's some news about a very, very good link for Chelsea Football Club. This is it. Check this out. Breaking. Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Malo on a long-term deal, says Fabrizio. I'm so happy at this. So happy at this. A right back, 19 years old. Lyon has agreed, wants to come. Lyon don't want to let him go, but he's like, let me go, please, let me go. He's content with being back up. He's content with fighting for the position to Reece James. Beautiful. For the future, we've got a long-term vision with this guy. He's really good. Check him out for Lyon. I know of Gusto. Very, very efficient. The sort of style we're looking for. Perfect. Let's get him over the line. I'll be very happy with this deal. And then we move. Let me know down below in terms of Gusto and what you think. Here is some news when it comes to Chelsea's crazy spending. UEFA look like they might want to take action. It's funny how we do something and all of a sudden, change the law because we got to stop them. Here it is. Exclusive. Chelsea's long-term player deals prompt UEFA to set 5-year FFP limit from next summer. That's all right, actually. I don't mind that because next summer we would have done all our business. So, we would have got these players under the line under 15-year contracts and it's all good. I'm fully up for that. No, look, the rule is in place. There's a loophole. Chelsea have taken advantage of it. What's wrong? How come no one batted an eye when Kepa was bought on a 7-year contract? All of a sudden now we're doing it with everybody. We got to change the rules. Like, no. There's a 5-year limit already. And then after that, you put add-ons. You put options. Options in the contract to extend. That's it. That's the loophole. Why all of a sudden they want to stop it? What is it to UEFA if we want to sign a player on that long? Is it your business? Stay out of our business. Honestly, I want to sign a player. I want to give him a 3-year deal. It's not a problem. I want to give this player a 4-year deal. It's not a problem. I want to give this player a 5-year deal. It's not a problem. I want to give this player a 6-year deal. Oh, no. You're not allowed, mate. No. It has to be 5 max. Why? I want to give this guy, I want to keep him for 6 years. Sue me. What? I don't understand. UEFA and whoever thinking that what we're doing is bad. It's not. We're spreading it out legally in terms of the payments and deal with it. Now, Last bit of news. I'll give my quick thoughts on this because it is relevant. Check this out. Frank Lampard has been sacked by Everton as expected. Official club statement to follow. What's mad is Everton still haven't released the club statement. The time is 7:22. And the club statement still has not been published. Clearly, the social media guy at Everton probably doesn't know what's happened. But yeah, Frank Lampard sacked by Everton. I mean, I feel for him. Let's be honest. In terms of the Everton job, it's chaos. Anyone that walks into that job now, it's flipping. It's a problem that's been existing for a little while now. And I don't think any manager might keep him up. They're going to get Bielsa. There is enough talent in that team. I have to be honest. There is enough talent in that team. A manager should be able to get them out the relegation zone. Everton should not be there. But they should be bottom half, 100%. 100%. They're absolute mess, including the board and the way that they've conducted themselves. But Bielsa might be the first guy to come in after Lampard has been sacked. He's looking like the front runner. How will he do? I honestly think Bielsa will do a better job. I think Bielsa will get them playing at least for the remainder of the season, and it might be enough to keep them up, and then go again in the summer and see how to try and get Everton out of this rut. But yeah, this decision, I think it's the correct decision. Not really 100% of Frank's blame, but he has a part to play. He does for sure, because some of the things that he was deciding on a tactical level, overall, it just wasn't it. And it's Frank Lampard. This is the thing. Look, management's not for everybody. Absolute legend of a player. In terms of his managerial career, it's not looking good at all. At all. We'll see what happens with him, but let me know your thoughts down below. How do you see it for Frank Lampard, and do you think it's a good decision, a bad decision? I'd like to get your thoughts on that as well, so let me know down below. Much appreciated, and that's all for today. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's been a long one, an insightful one, fully opinionated one. I can't get the words out. I've said too many words. I need to stop. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash like button if you've enjoyed this, and I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one, people. Have a good one. See you then. Take care and peace.